I am. My morning walk was very low energy. I feel low energy at this moment. Feeling low energy makes me not want to be talking. I didn't sing a lot as I walked, but I sang. I danced across the bridge over the gorge, and that was very energetic. But I'm still low energy. It's ironic because the sky is so clear. And when the sky is clear and it is high pressure, it usually means that I'm high energy. Whereas yesterday morning, everything was misty and variable pressures, rainbows and rain. So it's ironic that I, on a very high pressure day, feel low energy. As much fun as I have dancing with the workers in the construction site, it takes a lot of energy out of me, and I was not looking forward to it. Fortunately, nobody was there. Nobody's here next to us either. Nobody's working today, Saturday. I find that curious. My week is 6 days. My rest is Monday. I do not follow the Christian way of resting on Sunday and going to church. I don't go to church. For me, the world is sacred. I want a temple because I'm safe there. That's the only reason. Safe, resonant. That helps a lot. I don't have a church where that so-called God has an abode or has a connection. My connection is always and always everywhere. I connect to the trees, I connect to the rivers. But I'm low energy. And I feel it. My workout was low energy too. Does that mean I'm sick? I don't think so. I feel as if the illness that the sweetie got is passing me by, or more accurately, my body has beaten it to pulp and said, "You're not coming in here. See you later, bub." That's more what happened. Sometimes I'm very aware that my body, my being is so very emperor-like, kingly, or in the way that a king would be, not in that poor way that has been shown recently. Intermarriages destroy the genetics of the kings, and they become poor specimens. I, as a mixture, am not a poor specimen. As I said before, mixtures, because they come together in various races, nationalities, show the best of whatever came and made them. In my case, my mother and father have given me immense gifts in my physical, mental, and spiritual strengths. I consider myself to be a very strong being, very hardy, very hearty. I'm still low energy. It's funny though, I am low energy, and when the sweetie woke up, I was very whimsical and silly with her. Very whimsical and silly with the little Mimi there, who I'm calling Secret Agent Pup. I like that. It's an irony because she is so cute that for sure she's a secret agent. She works for the CIA, and she tells the CIA all the things we're doing, reports back to headquarters. So I don't understand what low energy is, really. Is it reticence? Is it I'm tired of doing these talks. I'm tired of the discourses. I'm tired of dancing. I'm tired of singing. I'm tired of walking. Food is difficult for me too right now. There's nothing that I'm eating that I like. We went out to what I consider one of my favorite vegan restaurants, and I was just tired of their food. Tired of it. It didn't excite me. The taste was annoying. At the same time, 3 children were running around the room carrying on. I was happy that 2 of the children were playing with gold balloons. I liked that. That was much more pleasing to me than the 3rd, who had a pad of some sort of computer pad, and was so engaged with the computer pad that he was running around the place with it, staring at it, but running around the place. He had so much energy, and at the same time he was riveted to the screen. I just don't believe in computers. I don't believe in phones. I think that at the moment they're a distraction that has put the evolution of humanity in a pause. They're very necessary to us in this time, in this modernity. But there's something slavish about them, something addicting, something de-evolving about them, because they do everything for you. When I go out for my walk, I don't take a phone to find out where I am. I walk and I figure it out. That figuring out causes me to observe nature very, very well, because I have to see where I am. I can't be told by something there, I'm over here, or over here, over there. I have to know. I have to recognize that tree. I have to recognize that sign. I have to recognize the angle of the sun. The mapping, the presence, the GPS of my being has to be calibrated to know and let me know where I am. I am not slavish to a device that lets me know. I know inside myself. Even in low energy, I challenge myself to do my things. I challenge myself to dance. I challenge myself to do my sun honoring. I was on my rock. Not only did I do stillness for a minute, but I did it longer. I pushed myself even more. That's kind of what I do when I'm low energy too. I push myself further. I don't know where I get that. I think I get it from my mother. My mother was an Amazon. It was because she was an Amazon that I developed this story about Achilles having to do with Amazons. I do believe that the Amazonian power is probably the most powerful human regality, let me say. Men are always bullies. When they're in their height of power, they're just beating everybody up. Whereas women in the height of their power are not only strong, but they're very extremely aware of the basics of life. So therefore, they're very I don't want to use the word clever because it's too superficial for what I mean, but Amazons to me are the most powerful of the clans that have existed in mythos. And to me, that's who taught Achilles how to fight. And that's why he was the best fighter in Greece at the time of the Trojan War. I'm distracted at the moment by a lizard climbing the tree. He's my favorite lizard, and he climbs the tree at this time every day. There he is. He climbs up the tree, and he has a big gullet, so at times he'll stop, and his gullet will expand and blow up like a balloon, and then it will come back, and then he'll go climb a little, and he'll do a little dance with his head, a little movement that what I like doing. He's standing still, and I think he's just probably eating an ant or something. And then he herky-jerky jumps and runs up the tree in the sun. And I see this happen every morning. Yes, these three kids were part of my dinner. I didn't eat them, so to speak. I ate them in learning the nature of children at these present and modernity and what does it look like. I see myself in them. I see myself in my dancing and my movement and my craziness. But I don't have a screen attached to my face. So as I said, I was pleased about the two, who were very riveted to the sweetie and I because I had my earrings, my flashing earrings on, and the sweetie was all decked out in makeup and her lovely outfit. but it's the boy who was attached to the screen, who was so energetic, so bouncing off the walls, and yet he was attached to the screen. It is going to be very easy for, it will be very easy to have these screens attached to people's faces as visors eventually. It'll be easier, then people don't have to have their hands occupied. They can have visors on their face. It's the beginning of robots, human robots. It's already human robots, it's just that the screen is separated from people's bodies. A lot of people want their screen attached to their body, like when we're taken on the scooter ride, the device that attaches their phone to the bike is probably going to be attached to people's necks, and they can have their phones attached to their faces so that they can see the phone whenever they need to, which is all the time. Seeing the boy reminded me of the girl in Mexico who was lying on a bench, and I don't remember why we had to go into the world that we went into. It was like we had to go into an office or something, and the girl was the daughter of the official. She was lying on a bench with her screen, her cell phone or her mother's cell phone, within 5 inches of her face, which of course allows her to see and be absorbed by the whatever she was watching completely. And she lay there for the entire time we were in this place. That was a long time, because we were there to do something. I was almost horrified by seeing her like that. I was so distressed by the fact that she was not interacting with the world in such a young age, not to interact with the world. And to think of myself when I was that age, how interacting with the world I was, and how much the world affected me. How much I was affected by the world at that age, and how much she is being affected by that world on the phone with her eyes 5 inches away from the screen. What does that mean in the future? That's not an evolution. That's a de-evolution. And what does that de-evolving to mean? Because evolution is definitely the path that we as beings will go on. We de-evolve many times. It's always the nature. We go up and down. We had a huge moment of evolution during the civil rights growth and the turning away from war. All that was a lot of growth of feelings and stuff. But this phone thing, this computer thing, this technology thing really has taken hold in a way that is de-evolving. And so a thing has to happen to allow beings to evolve again, and that thing is not going to be pretty. And don't get me wrong, I know and understand the importance of computers and phones. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your addiction. The addiction to all the things presently, the addiction to power tools, the addiction to phones, to computers. Creativity is almost nil in people presently. The only thing that people do is recycle the same old trash. Let me rephrase that. They trash it. I can't say that I didn't enjoy the first Star Wars, but once they continue doing it over and over and over and over and over again, it's trash. Once they do The Matrix over and over and over and over again, it's trash. The new things, new ideas, new things do not have a platform because everybody does the same thing over and over again, the same music. And now with AI, another de-evolving thing that makes everybody think they're being expressive and creative, it's just even worse and more subtle and more controlling. So I'm low energy, and yet there I go. I can just talk, even with low energy. On my rock, as I said, I did stillness for even longer than I usually do. Stillness is a very, very powerful practice of mine. I frankly can and do consider it my most powerful practice. I use stillness to initiate everything that I do. In yoga, they will refer to it as meditation. I don't. Because meditation is a trendy word. And it does not necessarily have anything to do with stillness. A lot of people meditate and they're not still at all. I'm talking about stillness. I'm talking about such stillness that it's difficult to discern that the person is alive or that I am alive. Yet I am more alive in stillness than in any other time. It's an irony. I can adopt stillness at an instant, and that's a practice too. I believe that to be able to be still allows one the opportunity to be in motion in any direction that one's heart wants to be. So, I'm, by the way, in my walking outfit today because I have such low energy, I didn't want to get into a different outfit. And in any event, I love this outfit. The sweetie and I got this outfit in Mexico. She encouraged me to do so. And it was very difficult. It's difficult for me to get anything. But it's yellow, and yellow is a beautiful color to wear. I noticed that the monks in Thailand all wear yellow. And so I felt very akin to them again, as usual. I'm a droshi, though, not a monk. And as a droshi, I practice stillness with a impeccability and a focus and a intent that I consider to be extremely powerful and fine energy, study and control. It's from that place of stillness that I start all my performances, that I start all my activities, that I start all my creativities. I start all my expressions. What is stillness? For me, stillness is nothing moves, nothing at all. Thus, every little movement that my body is doing in stillness is in full awareness to me. My heart beating, my breathing, my eyes blinking. But even my eyes, sometimes I can keep still. A twitch. All those things that are, in a sense, not controllable by me consciously. So when I get on the rock, I can call it the headstone. The headstone is located on the main road, right in front of Alchemy. It's a small but very dense rock that is about 9 inches high and a foot wide and about 2 feet long. When I stand, it has a sort of declivity to it and a sort of ascent. When I stand on it, it faces the sun as it rises perfectly. And all the traffic passes by. I face the sun, I do a short dance, and then I find myself in stillness. And at that moment, in the middle of my dance, I go into stillness. That, to me, is the most wonderful way of adopting stillness, because I was in such full motion right before that, and then to bring myself into stillness after full motion is a beautiful, beautiful practice. The resonance of my dance carries through me. I can feel my dance emanating from my being as I am in stillness. My hands in positions, my feet either tiptoed or pushed back, or my muscle tightened and slightly twitching maybe. In this position of extreme subtlety, all the beings around me are in extremely quick motion. Cars whizzing by, people rushing somewhere, and I'm in stillness. The birds flying through, the ants crawling across the ground, and I'm in stillness. The sun heating me up, warming me. Its brilliance sparkling. I don't ever look directly in the sun, but I look very close so that the sun's light frizzles my eyelids. At this position, I am a sunlit being, completely aura radiant, in stillness while the world rushes by, and I am so aware of everything and everybody at that moment. I am a statue. Bob Laff used to be in statue. That's what he would do in his black and white decorative look, illustrating the Tao while in stillness on the Ramblas. There are plenty of people who are in stillness. They go into costumes of sorts and they are in stillness for a while, and they receive money from people, give them money. And when they receive money, they move into a different position. Their intent, of course, is to make money. My intent is to be so still and to practice so much stillness that the world becomes completely connected to me in my radiance, in the fine energy. It is how I enter this stillness that is the most joyous thing, because I adore being in stillness. I burst from my stillness. It's startling to see something that is absolutely unmoving suddenly move in such a graceful and such a direct way. That's how I begin all of my performances. That's how I begin all my expressions. Because from that stillness, the first action that one takes is the most inspired one. Inspired by all the energy that is coming into one. I learned this in my youth. When I was a shy being, shyness has nothing to do with anything, really. It's just you hate yourself, I'm shy. I hate myself, I'm shy. I'm shy, I don't want to really look, I know. But, boy, could I dance. I think that had I not been so shy, had I not been so mocked for my ability to dance, because my sisters really saw my ability to move my hips and they thought it was funny and they mocked me, and I had trouble with being mocked. It caused me to stop moving my hips and hide that. My dancing became something that I did privately because I didn't want to be mocked. Is there something wrong with me? Of course there is. I'm hating myself. There is everything wrong with me. I'm a monster, as I have always said. I am. I'm still a monster. It's just that I couldn't care less whether you like it or not. So I would go to let's say a club. And before I would go on the dance floor, I would get into stillness. Absolutely still. And I let the music pump through me and just build an energy in me. As the music pumped through me and I stayed absolutely still while it was pumping through me, it just built this energy that caused me to explode onto the dance floor. It wasn't just go on the dance floor and just kind of tiptoe on. I exploded on the dance floor, and that was that. I just followed that energy and just went with it, because that broke through the shyness. That was my way of breaking through the self-hatred. That was my way of breaking through all the locks and all the garbage that was heaped upon me by society and its judgment, criticism, and hatred of me as a mixed being. So stillness was a talent I had almost driven to learn about it, almost led by something, let us say, the nameless, the deep unconscious self, showing me something that is so worthwhile, so beautiful, so important. To be still, to be able to be still in the midst of anything is the most powerful way of dealing with any environment. To be still at the moment of an emergency, it enables one to move and to act in a way that is the most heroic and perfect way of dealing with the environment. To run around screaming and yelling and being full of the feelings and scared of that moment just causes one to act in a way that is completely without intent. Whereas to be able to be still at the moment of a horrifying and terrible emergency allows one to be and to act in the way that is most necessary for that emergency, because one is feeling the full energy of that emergency. One feels everything in stillness.